Magazine Monday, Magazine Monday, Magazine Monday. What are you reading today? Very first magazine I got in my subscription to Model Railroader right there. January 1997. Now, this isn't the original one. I got this one years later. Saw it in the spice rack. Look at that. Oh, man. Timmy, what have you been doing? Oh, my God. Oh, this train is so amazing. Look at this. Back when Atlas was in the Snaptrack game, I do recall that there was the Snaptrack Wars. You had Bachman Easy Track, you had Kato Unitrack, you had Atlas True Track, and then you had the Lifelike Snaptrack as well. But we're not doing that magazine. No, we are going into March of 1998. That is correct. Of Tehachapi Pass, mountain railroading in HO scale. Now, this is a very compressed version. From what I remember, and remember my whole rule of Magazine Monday is we don't read the magazine before we start. Even though I have read through these, pretty much every magazine I've done at some point. Let me have my Magazine Monday memory jogged. I love this, number 645, that is C44-9. This is probably an Overland Models kit. I mean, definitely, especially at this time, where the only other Dash 9 you could get was either a Kato unit or Athearn. So either this is a hyper-detailed Athearn, which I highly doubt because it looks more like an Overland Models brass kit. So let's get into this with Atlas, your one stop. Gotta love those S2s. So cool. Look at that. Still with the horn hook couplers. One of my favorite paint schemes, actually. Chessie system. Blue, red, and yellow. Or is it blue, orange, and yellow? Good looking cars. Great stuff. All right. Let's go to the table of contents and see what is going on here. Departments, product news, blah, 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 blah. Tehachapi Pass is on number 64. So we will make our way that way as quickly as possible. But before then, look at some highlights. Got some E units and N scale. We have Overland Models. Look at that. A big U50C, number 5025. God, those are so powerful. You know what I'm seeing right next to it? The AC6000. Goodness gracious. Now, whether they actually ever had 6,000 horsepower, they were supposed to be rated for that, but just a cool looking unit. Pretty much looks like an ET44C4, but the early version, with that big giant radiator grill fan on the back. Goodness gracious. And then obviously your AC4400 in your crappy CSX paint from the 90s. Words, 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 more words, words, tons of words. And buy our stuff, buy our stuff, buy our stuff. More stuff to buy. Look at this kit. That is a bridge kit if I've ever seen. Look at that. Holy skid biscuits. And early train simulator stuff. These are trees. Trust us. All right. Where are we going from here? Always like the American... what is this? American Model Train? Which one was this? Oh, Train World. Train World. Right at McDonald's. 751 McDonald's. There you go. You can get yourself a Big Mac and a train. There actually is a McDonald's right next to... It's in Buena Park, California. SoCal, if any of you have ever been to it. Right outside of Knott's Berry Farm. Ooh. And there's tons of G-scale trains going around the ceiling at that McDonald's. Go get yourself a Big Mac and watch some trains go. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been there in a while. But if it is, let me know. I'd like to go check it out. The AMD 103 captures the modern look of a prototype. And there you go. Look at Athearn just doing its due diligence ahead of its time. But not really. But not really. Again, not really. See-through grill. I remember that. That was cool. One of the first models with a see-through grill that was just a plastic model doing cool things. Anyways, River Rossi. That cool cab forward right there. Winning. We're still moving along like a bottom of the... Ooh, Reader's Choice. That's right. And vote for your favorite product right now. All right, hurry up. Get your favorite product voted on. Like when Athearn used to do this, the old school... Put the models on the real railroad track picture. Love that little SW7. And an F unit. Look at that. F me unit? No, FU unit. What? Anyways, catching the action at Caliente. Very hyper compressed, but very much gets the idea done. Look at that. Very beautiful. That track work. Very much of the 90s when they only had the 2 tracks at Caliente, and then obviously this just became a nice little servicing track. A set-out track, as they would say. Look at that. Great looking engines there. You got a B40-8. Nice little GP60 right behind that, and a GP60M with some spine cars. That's some good looking stuff. And then coming down the hill, that same consist right up here. Ooh, no, there's an SD40-2 behind it. Okay, I can dig. And I don't know what that is. What is that? There's another. Okay, so 40-2, GP60, and looks like another 40-2. Nice with the stack train. Yay for us. As you can see, very basic track plan. Pretty much, you start out of Bakersfield Yard, and then you're already on 2 tracks, and then you come to Caliente. So they pretty much skip Edison, Bina, Illman, the Narrows, and you're just coming right into Caliente. But it really looks great because you gain that altitude, and then this whole backside just comes right down there, right back into the yard. A lot in a little space. And I was talking about that the other day. It doesn't take a lot to make a little look like a lot. And I really like that. SD40-2, a nice little C40-8 right there. In tow. SD45, Southern Pacific. Another SD40-2. And then right above it, we got that B23-7, Jeep 60. And a Jeep 60 in front. Or Jeep 60M, Jeep 60. Great looking photos. Absolutely stunning. Really good looking work. And I mean, I just absolutely love the color palette too. Not fully over green. It's like a yellowish green. I don't know. Let's take a look at this. I like this. Yeah, very ground turf kind of grass. Love the tree work. I don't know if static grass had become a thing by then. I'd like to think not. But there we go. That's that. Ooh, more pictures. Look at this super fleet. Great stuff. It's a Dash 9 right there. B40-8, B40-8. Great looking units. Another set of, there's that B23-7 again. Good looking air conditioner up on that roof. Wow, just great looking stuff here. And we got the McDonald's. So there you go. Trains and McDonald's. Synonymous. Love it. With a nice little, that looks like an AC 4400. Good stuff. That's the oil cans right there. Look at that, right behind it. And obviously, you have the Caliente store. I miss those Santa Fe double stacks with the Santa Fe Herald on the side. Sorry, I'm getting too close. Zooming in too much. But so great. Look at that. That's what Bakersfield looks like, which kind of looks like Mojave. But Bakersfield at the same time. Great stuff. Oh, my gosh! And that's that. Populate your layout with people. Do it. Cab Forward, Southern Pacific, over the Donner Pass. Lovely. If you ever get a chance, go up to the short track in, Vista, California. It's still in San Diego County. And they have a great layout that represents Donner Pass. But this is a really cool track design as well. My goodness. And yeah, we're going to keep it a nice short magazine Monday. That's a great looking, I think that's an AC-12. I love those Cab Forwards. Great looking units. Really innovative. And a PA. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, today's lunch will be served in the upper cafeteria. And that's that. Let's see if they, oh man, what a beautiful picture. That has got to be on a diorama. Ken Johnson, good job. Oh, we got to look at these. Are you kidding? The High Mamatha. And other things. All right, you know what? We're just going to skip past all this fun stuff because it's late. I got to get some other stuff squared away, but I do absolutely... That is a great looking layout. C&O. Look at that. An N-scale Empire right on the... Look at that. Not a lot of space. Still got an Empire. Great stuff. Great looking pictures. Got the Alco pulling some coal empties. Love it. Nice looking roundhouse right there. I've got a nice looking roundhouse right there. Can you see it? Yeah, that's that roundhouse. That's the roundhouse. Boom. And that was an N-scale roundhouse right there. And that's an N-scale roundhouse right there. Got to figure out something to do with that thing. I really do. Alrighty then. There you go. H1. I missed that scheme. And all these fun places you can go. Cato USA, blah, 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 blah. Let's read the along the line. Train time at Elizabeth. It's always excited to hang around the station during train time. Even before the train appeared, baggage wagons and small sacks were jockeyed into position and loading on the proper cars as the train rumbled to a halt. People shared sad goodbyes and joyful hellos, and in an instant the scene was over, only to be repeated before long, not only here in Elizabeth, New Jersey, but at stations across the country. I swear I've done this magazine before for Magazine Monday because I remember telling a crappy story about a crappy movie with Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst called Elizabethtown. Blech. Gag me with a spoon. I had to go sit through a 2-hour piece of crap. I think it was like 90 minutes because I went on a date with this girl and it was worth it though, you know what I mean? Anyways, power packs, always good if you got DC to have one of these guys. Test those engines out. Fun to run a small layout with the Tech 2. And until then, keep on trucking, rock and roll, and we'll see you next time. Just remember, your most important signal you get is going to be your next one.